All right, beautiful beings. So, in honor of my solar return, I thought I would drop in a message. And for the last few weeks, I've been in deep reflection over so many memories and so many things that got me here to where I'm at today. And this is really just a ripple in the fabric of eternity, this lifetime itself. And when your soul is very ancient, this is one of many lifetimes. And so if you're listening to me, I'm sure you understand that. And so as I've been reflecting in the condensed version of this lifetime, early on in the beginning, there was a lot of trauma, a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of darkness, a lot of abuse of all kinds, addiction, and all of the things. Literally, it was living the dimensional experience of hell on earth. And it felt like that for a very significant period of time. And, I forgot to mention, I've also died a couple times physically in this human experience. And then I had a huge catalyst of change. I had my daughter, and that opened and activated my heart chakra. And the immense amount of love that I felt in that moment forever changed me. And I hadn't felt love like that probably ever. And with that whole experience, everything that unfolded after that, the initiation of healing, the recognition that something needed to change in my life, and so I began the path of healing. And I would like to say that just by initiating and beginning the process of healing meant it was easier, but it wasn't. It required work, it required energy, it required effort to change. And in the beginning, a lot of why I was doing the work was to be free. I really desired freedom. I wanted freedom from the past. I wanted freedom from all the pain and suffering. And that was a huge motivator for me, was to immerse myself in rapid amounts of healing and acceleration. I was in acceleration for quite a long time, to continue to break away and break through all of the shit I had experienced and put myself through and believed about myself. So it wasn't easy, and it didn't come without effort. It required massive amounts of work. And when I started that process, it was like I was going a million miles in the other direction, because I refused to go back to the life I had been living before. And so that required an entire experience in reality to collapse. My world collapsed, and I had to start at ground zero with nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And I had to build myself back up. It was like I was doing massive cleanup work, and at the time I didn't realize that I was actually clearing karma, and I had begun the process and learned about energy work, was actually guided. I had immersed myself into everything that I could so I could learn about myself, so I didn't return to the version of self that I was. And I would like to say that I did it all on my own, but I didn't. I immersed myself. I worked with healers, mentors, coaches, groups, you name it. Like I said, the acceleration energy was so intense. And when I got to the end of it, I realized I was not only clearing karma from this lifetime, but I was clearing from past lifetimes. I was doing so much energetic work on all layers and all timelines and all versions of self, and reclaiming aspects of myself that had been lost through all of it. And even in that process, I earned so many certificates in different modalities in energy healing, degrees, went back to school and got a couple degrees, trying to figure out where I was going and what I was doing and what was the purpose of it all. And inherently, I knew within me that all of the experiences, all of the trouble I had gotten into before, all of the everything. I was collecting information. I was collecting codes. I was healing family and generational lineages and family trauma. And I mean, it's just so extensive, the amount. And it required my devotion to myself, my devotion. Even at the time, I didn't realize it was for myself. I was doing it for everything else, but ultimately coming to the point that I was on a level doing it for me, and in turn also doing it in reciprocity for others, and the ripple effect that it has on everyone around me and throughout lifetimes and throughout everyone that I work with. And so I share all that. So you can see a little bit more about me, and I guess some final things that I really wanted to share around all of it for anyone that is on their path or just beginning or has been awake for a while. No one can give you the motivation to do the work but you. If you're really motivated by whatever it is to not continue down the path of pain and suffering, because you'll start to realize that that is a choice to stay there. The other piece I wanted to share is we came to this physical reality as experiential learners. There is information that you hold within you that can't be found in a book. Wisdom is actually gathered when you're willing to do the healing work, to do the deep dive, to immerse yourself in understanding who and what you are and why you came here to begin with. And we get that through the experience of actually doing the work on ourselves. And the deeper that we are willing to go within ourselves, we will be able to reclaim so much of our wisdom, of our gifts, of our knowledge. We become a clear channel and a conduit. We start living our desired creation. One of the biggest arrival points is when you really truly start living in alignment with your soul. That is where the freedom is. That is where you know you've arrived. And so I'm going to run out of time, but I thought I would just place that here. And so for all of you beautiful souls, I am going to send you so much love.